Pulsar needs to get their shit together, and when I say that, I honestly say that with as much love as possible, because when it comes to competitive gaming mice, there are so many things that Pulsar does extremely well, but there are some issues that are so bad that at this time, I honestly cannot recommend getting a mouse from them. So in this video, I'm going to go over both the good and the bad and why I'm in the process of returning this mouse. Starting off with the juicy stuff first, there is a major issue with Pulsar gaming mice, and that's going to boil down to their very poor quality control. This is a well-known issue with many reports on both Amazon and community forums of their mice having issues with the sensors, the wrong internal parts being installed, and the very common sticky mouse clicks. It's gotten so bad, in fact, that when I ordered this mouse, I consciously knew I was rolling the dice. And with this unit, I lost. I'm returning this mouse because I have the very common and notorious sticky mouse click that is just awful. So what's happening is, after I don't use the mouse for about 30 seconds to a minute, the first few times I click down on the left click here, there is a lot of additional pressure to get the mouse to click down all the way and function properly. After I spam it a little bit, it will go back to normal, but only while I'm spamming it. If I let it sit, I'll get that really heavy stickiness that is extremely unpleasant, and it always returns no matter what. It feels like there's some kind of foam or something pushing up on the mouse click that always comes back even after a week of heavy use. And it's even more apparent because the right click over here does not have that issue at all. It is completely flawless, and I have no additional pressure no matter how long it sits. This issue is extremely jarring and very noticeable in game. And when spending $100 for a premium product like this, I not only expect top-notch quality, I expect everything to be functioning flawlessly and without defects. And if this was a one-off and a very rare occurrence, it wouldn't be so much of an issue, but there are so many reports out there of these issues happening that at this time I honestly cannot recommend getting a mouse from Pulsar, because you're just taking a chance that your mouse may be working fine, and many people are getting good units out there, but for a lot of other people, they're having many different issues. Yes, it does come with a warranty and you can return it, but that is a huge hassle to have to deal with, especially after spending $100. And in my opinion, that's just unacceptable. I can't in good conscience recommend a product to you guys if I'm not confident that it's going to come fully functional. But what's even more frustrating is how fantastic everything else is about this mouse. If these quality control issues didn't exist and I got a flawless unit, I would be such a Pulsar fanboy. I'm not even kidding. And the reason for that is the value that you get for $100. So just by comparison, we have over here the Logitech G Pro X Superlight 2, which is retailing right now for about $160. And we also have the Viper V2 Pro, which when it came out was about $150. Now it's probably a little bit cheaper because it's been out a few years. But these two mice have the same 3395 sensor. The weight on both of these are 60 grams, while the Pulsar is coming in at about 54 grams. The coating, in my opinion, is significantly better than either one of these mice. The clicks, when working, are better than the Viper V2 Pros, and maybe a slight step down compared to Logitech's Light Force clicks over here. The mouse wheel is phenomenally better than either of these other two options. And don't even get me started on these side buttons. These side buttons are just fantastic, especially compared to the really crappy and mushy side buttons of the G Pro X Superlight 2. And once again, this mouse is coming in at $100. So this is why I'm so freaking frustrated, is because Pulsar is offering a great lineup of many different shapes and sizes, and you're getting equal to, if not better quality compared to these other top tier options that are significantly more expensive. And so I'm not an expert in production by any means, so maybe that's why these other mice are more expensive. But if these quality control issues were taken care of and completely solved, Pulsar, in my opinion, would be the best value company for competitive gaming mice, because you're getting such high quality at a significantly lower price point. And so the other thing I wanted to talk about was this cable. This cable is not only far superior than both the Logitech or the Razer's cable that was included with their mice, but there's something that really really stood out to me. If you look at the cable here, you can see that this connector is flared upward. And so this flare is extremely intentional because if you had to play with the mouse plugged in because you were out of battery, that is flared upwards in order to try to minimize the amount of resistance that the cable would put against the mouse, potentially affecting your aim. So if you ever did modifications to gaming mice, you're familiar with not only paracording your cables, but then also using a mouse bungee in order to minimize this resistance. Whoever designed this connector on Pulsar, they're one of us. They're one of the gamers. They're one of the people that did these modifications, and they're one of the people that really cared about trying to maximize and optimize your performance in game. That's what this little cable tells me. And this is why it's so frustrating, because there's a side to Pulsar that really cares. They pay attention to these details and try to make the best product they can that potentially allows them to be one of the best in the industry. Then there's the other side where there's so many issues and flaws that it's really hard to recommend buying these mice. This really blew me away. I know this is a small thing. For some of you, this won't even matter. And this is on a wireless mouse, so this may never even be used for the function it was designed for, but they did it anyway. This mouse is so outstanding in so many different ways that the amount of potential that is there is just insane, only to be thrown away by these issues that should have been noticed before these products went out the door and on their way to the consumer. I want to be a Pulsar fanboy so bad, and I'm so close to it, but these quality control issues cannot be ignored. I'm going to be returning this mouse with a very heavy heart that I want to see them succeed. They have some really great products. They have some great ideas, but if they can't fix their quality control, it could really be the death of them. And I really tried to give this mouse a chance. With over a week of heavy usage, this sticky mouse click is only getting worse and worse. And I know some people online have resorted to trying to fix it on their own, but once again, for $100 for a premium product like this, that's not a hassle I should be dealing with. And I shouldn't have to take the chance of basic functions just not working from the start. So I think to wrap this up, what I want to say is, in the end, be very cautious of ordering a mouse from Pulsar. There's a good chance your mouse will come in and it'll work flawlessly and it'll be just fine, but there's also a chance it'll come in and there's going to be some major flaws and you might have to return or RMA it. But with all that said, I'm going to continue to keep a close eye on Pulsar because they really do potentially have a very bright future if they can solve some of these issues. So I know that rant might have been a bit much, but I hope this helps, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.